Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. To keep this podcast free, we're partnering with Stoke Seeds. Indoor seed starting is fun, easy, and economical. Now's the time to start your seeds. If you're looking to grow vegetable variety or add a punch of color to your flower garden, review the Stoke Seeds Starting Guide online. You'll find information about soil preparation, moisture, temperature, light, transplanting, and more. The Stoke Seeds website is a complete resource center you need to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Get growing with Stokes. Now, today's question. Well, it's been so wet that I imagine it's a little too soon to try to get out and do anything but maybe a little cleanup.
Right. I think if you've been out recently, you probably had to put your hip boots on to get out in the yard. But that's certainly something as soon as you feel comfortable walking around the yard that you can do. If you didn't get your perennials cleaned up last fall, you can trim all the dead off of them now. If you have trees in the yard, then you're going to have limbs in your yard that have fallen out across the winter, so you want to get those cleaned up. Just survey the landscape and maybe see what you want to do this year. If there's some things that maybe you want to transplant or remove and add some new things. Roses are one that as soon as you start to see a little bit of new growth on those, they can be trimmed back. Mm-hmm. And of course, the popular knockout rose, you can kind of control the height of the plant by how much you cut them back. If you trim them high, then, your knockout roses are going to be taller. We like to cut them back to about 12 inches, and then you'll have a plant that finishes off in the late summer about 3 feet tall. So,
Yeah, I remember last year, I think I scared my wife to death. Fred said to me, he said, now cut them back hard, cut them back to about a foot, and cut them back to about 5 stems, 5 good stems with shoots coming out the sides. Mm-hmm. So I chopped that thing down to about a foot, 5 stems, and I think my wife thought I had killed them. And they just came roaring back. They were beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, short and bushy, and that's what I was looking for.
Well, the plant thought you were trying to kill them, so.
Yeah. They do get a tendency if you don't trim them back to get a little bit spindly looking, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. And that's correct, Fred. Fred's absolutely right. Try to thin them out a little bit so you have 4 or 5 nice stems in there, and that'll develop a really, really nice rose.
Thanks again for listening to the podcast. Remember, lose the winter blues and garden indoors. Start your indoor seeding with the help of Stokes Gardening Guide, plus their online articles. For the best selection of vegetable, flower, and herb seeds available, go to stokeseeds.com. Catalogs are still available. Cultivating successful growers for generations.